if this were to take a turn for the worse, I wouldn't want to live in the United States anymore.
A man like that simply can't be president.
He's definitely spiraling, which isn't helping him at all right now. Every move she makes, he has something to say about it. And not only is it unprofessional, but it's also just like, why would I vote for you if you're going to act like that?
Kamala were to win the race, this would be not just a big win for our country, but a big win for women in our country as well. Because I was actually talking to my grandmother the other day that she was alive when, let's say gender politics weren't always so even. Nothing was ever on an even playing field. So to see that drastic change happen from all the way back in the 1950s to now 2024, to where we're seeing a black woman run for president in the Democratic Party, I just feel a lot of excitement, especially on Howard's campus, about that being a potential reality. However, it's also a begrudgingly large fear, because Donald Trump has only consecutively now ran against two female presidents. It's kind of like the battle of the sexes all over again, but in politics, which is really funny. But if this were to take a turn for the worse, I wouldn't want to live in the United States anymore. I'm in my sophomore year, but I wouldn't want to be here where, you've obviously heard of Project 2025 and things like that, and the things that they are planning on doing. They've already taken away affirmative action and basic human rights and human necessities, up all the way up to the Supreme Court. And now with this being what's considered by many a close race, I just I feel optimistic rather than fearful, because I feel that there's going to be a huge turnaround and we're going to have our first black president.
So where I'm from, New Orleans, it's kind of like a mix of people voting for Trump and people voting for Kamala. But when Biden was still in office, I feel like, or even after Biden, like the fact that Kamala is in office now, I feel like it's a lot of people just voting against the other person. I feel like people really aren't looking at the policies, mainly like Trump supporters specifically, like the policies that they seen Trump doing. Like, I don't even know if they know that it could hurt them, but they just don't want the other person to be president because they just have certain prejudices that make them want certain things to happen and just turn a blind side to everything else.
I personally think it was a smart political move for the Democrats to choose Kamala as a pick. I don't feel like she has anything bad on her. She's a HU alum, so I love her. I also think that ruined Trump's chances of winning. He still has, obviously, he has a platform, but
yeah, he's definitely spiraling, which isn't helping him at all right now. Every move she makes, he has something to say about it. And not only is it unprofessional, but it's also just like, why would I vote for you if you're going to act like that?
Yeah. Even his VP is not a good pick.
Yeah,
it's not a strong enough pick for him.
No.
Yeah.
I'm a Kamala Harris supporter. I don't think Donald Trump is fit to be president, and I don't think he can be president again, simply because of, you could call me a single issue voter, but the issue is January 6th. This man tried to overthrow our democracy and incited an insurrection, which is crazy to say, but that's not even the only thing. There's a slate of fake electors that he tried to submit in the state of Arizona, I believe, that they're currently during trials and tribulations over, because this man tried to sabotage and destroy our democracy for his own ego. And that is a man that cannot be president. It's treasonous, it's traitorous, and it's anti-American to go against the Constitution and to ask your vice president to go into the Constitution to attempt to subvert the peaceful transfer of power. It's absolutely disgusting, and a man like that simply can't be president. I could go into the NATO expansion, everything he's talking about with Russia. I could go into how racist and misogynistic he is, but I don't think I could also go into his 34 felony counts, but I don't think I need to do that. All I have to tell you guys is that he's treasonous, he's a traitor, and he tried to destroy democracy. I vote for Kamala Harris. She might not be a woman that you want to vote for. You might not know a lot about her policies. I implore you to listen to her 40-minute DNC convention speech where she went in detail about her policies if you still are unaware. But that man can't be president again.
So on both sides, so looking at the Democratic Party, I think they're trying to make the best of their new circumstance, having to pretty much launch a new presidential bid 100 days out from the election is a pretty gutsy move. And I think they're doing as best a job they can. As far as the Republicans go, having been prepping for another rematch, Trump v. Biden, I think they're slow to start and falling back on their impulsive nature. It's working out for them as best as it can, but I don't know yet. We'll see as we get closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you've seen people are starting to try to jump on Kamala about she needs to do interviews, she needs to do press. What do you think about those comments?
I think that yes, while they're warranted. Again, as I mentioned earlier, 100 days to launch an entire presidential bid is a lot on the person who's going to run for that position. And I think that the people need to understand, while a lot of people have like up to 2 years to launch a presidential bid, 100 days is not a long time. So will she get in front of a camera soon? We hope. But yeah, I think in due time.
I feel like it's a really big moment in history for us right now. I think that there's a lot of things going on, and I think that there's a lot, on both sides that we need to look at and really consider. But I think that this is going to be a very big opportunity for us to really make a difference.
What do you think about both sides? What have they shown you, or have you really been paying attention as much?
I definitely like to tune in and pay attention. I think that both sides have a lot of flaws. I think the biggest problem that people are having with VP Harris right now is just the entire thing with Palestine. But she did come out and condemn that during the DNC convention, so hopefully that changes people's hearts a little bit. I know it's not exactly what they wanted to hear, but I think it's a bit eye-opening and uplifting to kind of hear that on her end in any type of scale, especially since the other candidate feels completely opposite from that. So